a father to the fatherless,
and a defender of widows.
His garden, his holy dwelling.
God sets the lonely in families.
He leads out the prisoners with singing.
Greetings, friends. This is a very special video that will take you to 3 locations across India: our deaf school, blind school, and orphanage at Sunrise. I think you are going to be inspired as you hear these stories of transformed lives. India has just surpassed China as the largest country in the world, with over 1.4 billion individuals. Of those individuals, 63 million are hearing impaired. And because they're scattered throughout the country, often access to education is not possible because the only options are for hearing individuals. So to have a school here for the hearing impaired right in Caligal, the first Adventist deaf school in the world, is an incredible opportunity for these precious children.
The Seventh-day Adventist School for Speech and Hearing was established in the year 1998 with just hardly 10 students. But today, by God's grace, it has grown up to more than 100 students, and we have already had more than 100 students who have graduated from the school.
Opportunities for a deaf child in India are limited. They may be outcasts, there may be superstitious beliefs that limit them. And yet here at the Caligal Deaf School, these children are given opportunities for an education, and not only that, for a future career. One of the powerful tools provided for students here at this school is through the computer lab. Here they learn skills that will help them find employment when they graduate. In fact, many of the students, upon graduation, are able to find jobs to provide for themselves and for a future family.
In our school, we love to see the children having good characters. Along with the education, the character is what's going to determine who they will be in the future. So we concentrate giving them character building. So they have a lot of responsible things to do around in the campus, like keeping their things clean, arranging their cupboard, and keeping themselves clean. And whenever some visitors come or well-wishers come to meet them, they respond by saying thank you. So we inculcate all these characters in them, and now they are best example for the other younger generation who are coming in. The older kids show them what they're supposed to be, how they're supposed to behave, so that they just don't go out saying that they are educated, but they go out with a lot of moral values.
One of the highlights on my visit here was a morning walk. It was an early morning walk with the children. We walked through rice paddies, and of course we saw birds, we saw mushrooms, we saw ants, we saw butterflies and dragonflies. I learned so many different words, and it was such an incredible experience to enjoy nature in a different way. One of my favorite experiences was to see the children gather in a circle and have prayer and then sing a couple of songs. The person praying would close their eyes and begin signing while all the other students watched the prayer taking place. This is certainly different than anything I'd ever experienced. And then they went on to sing a couple of songs together. It was so beautiful to be in nature and see such an expression of love toward our Creator. The Caligal School for the Deaf represents a broad diversity of young people that have hearing disabilities. These children are not accepted based on their religious preference or the caste that they're from, or even their skill in being able to use sign language. Every child that applies here has an opportunity to pursue an education regardless of their background.
I'd like to thank my sponsor this time for helping me to have a good education and helping me to achieve my dream. Thank you so much. God bless you and keep you safe.
Almost 1/3 of the world's blind population lives in India. For children who are born blind or who become blind early in life, it's almost seen as a curse from God, like a social pariah. They are isolated, perhaps even abandoned. They deal with depression and even suicidal ideation. Their lives are bleak and they're truly filled with darkness. And yet at the blind school, when they arrive here, they discover that they are surrounded by peers who deal with the same challenges that they have. And yet there are opportunities to overcome these challenges and even flourish and succeed. They are seen as individuals who have special talents and abilities, gifts that they are able to share. One of the amazing experiences here is to see the investment that the teachers make in these beautiful children. They truly love them. They truly pour their lives into them. While we were here, they put on a special program. As the students perform, you can see the joy on the faces of their teachers, the pride that the teachers were feeling as the students succeeded, whether it was singing or doing a skit, whatever it was, they were met with appreciation and applause and laughter and joy. Here at this school, the students learn how to become independent, how to look after themselves, how to operate a computer and type in prompts and respond to a computer program. These skills give them the opportunity to find a job when they finish here and they graduate. They can function well in society. They also now have a community of peers that they can connect with, that can give them the moral and emotional support they need as they journey through life. The bond between teachers and students also carries over between students and other students. It is powerful to see how some that have partial vision are paired with those that are totally blind, and they help them. They partner up, and that kind of community of support really helps give these kids courage to face the challenges that otherwise would be overwhelming. One of the most powerful things about sponsorship is that it creates in the child a desire to give back. The pain, the trauma that they've been through, they want to be able to help others navigate that journey as they have been able to do. And so when we see a student who's graduated here from the blind school be able to give back to that community, to relate to those individuals in ways that no one else can, it is so powerful to see the result when these children are determined to give back and make a difference for others. I was really looking forward to coming back to the Sunrise Children's Home. Why? Because our family sponsors a young man from here by the name of Jayashanth. I was so excited for my wife to meet him for the first time and to be able to see him again after my first visit. One of the highlights was to see the room that he calls home. And in that room, in his cupboard there, were 2 Bibles. My wife asked him which book of the Bible was his favorite, and he said, the book of Hebrews. You don't hear that very often. It's a very deep theological book. And then she asked him if he could show her where the book of Hebrews was at, and he turned there immediately. So this is a very spiritual young man, an intelligent young man who now has a bright future with plans, with a career in mind, with goals, because he's been given an opportunity here at the Sunrise Home. Jayashanth, like many of the children here, is an orphan. In this case, it was his father who passed away, and his mother was unable to provide the financial means necessary to support him. She's a farmer, and she does her best to provide for little things for him, like shoes, like a blanket. But she is so happy that he has this opportunity for an education through sponsorship here at the Sunrise Home. One of the honors that I have is the ability to visit the children that our family sponsors. And in this case, I actually had the opportunity with my wife to visit the village where Jayashanth grew up, where he came from, and to see how life is like for him. To be able to see that firsthand and recognize what a privilege he's been given to be able to be here at Sunrise Home, to pursue his studies, to have a safe place to stay, nutritious food to eat, to have all of his needs taken care of, and to know that his mom loves him and he can visit her on his breaks, and that she sends him gifts to help bring joy in his journey. As a sponsor back in North America in a first world context, it's hard to realize the significant difference that sponsorship makes in the life of a child who has been engulfed by poverty. They really have their script written for them from the time of their birth, based on the class that they're born into, based on who their parents are, and many of them experience tragedy very early in life. These things are not observable by looking at a profile on Child Impact's website and selecting a child. But when you can begin to experience that firsthand, it has lit such a fire in me because I see the difference this makes in the life of these children. Child Impact has partnered with Sunrise Children's Home for many years. And because of that, I've had the opportunity to meet graduates who are now in their professional careers. They are flourishing, and they look back at their experience at Sunrise as being pivotal to changing the trajectory of their life. That is my hope for Jayashanth as well. My prayer for him is that he is able to continue to pursue his education through sponsorship here at Sunrise, to be able to graduate and begin to make a difference in society, but also specifically for his mom and his own family in the village where he lives. James 1:27 says that pure and undefiled religion that God accepts is to care for widows and orphans in their distress. At Child Impact, we have a fund entitled Blind, Deaf, and Orphans. Why is this important? These are the most vulnerable of society. These are children whose scripts have been written for them, predetermined by society, and they're left without options in their lives. We want to change that and bring opportunities for a bright future, one that is filled with hope. My wife and I have been involved with adoption from an orphanage, and we're involved in that process again. One of the training components highlighted that every child in an orphanage has experienced trauma to a great degree. And so it's very important that a child who's been through such an experience can find a place of healing. So for children born here in India that are deaf, that are blind, or experience a tragic loss of a parent, the trauma that they experience leads them to a place where having an oasis of healing and hope, people that care about them, that love them, that invest in them and their future. This is so significant. And I reflect and realize that it's our donors that are also making an investment in these children through sponsorship or through supporting the projects to improve these schools. Those investments are part of the healing process that these children need due to the trauma that they've experienced in their lives. The blind, the deaf, and the orphans are among the most vulnerable in society. Jesus talks in Matthew 25 about the actions of his disciples to bring relief, to bring help to these individuals. I would like to invite you to partner with Child Impact to make a difference for these children. You can do that by going to childimpact.org and selecting Blind, Deaf, and Orphans, or you can call our office at 423-910-0667. Thank you for making a difference for the most vulnerable in society.